What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's doing well, and let's get straight into things. So you'll see today we had quite a heavily consolidated day. Price never moved that much, but we are still moving down towards the targets that I delineated in the previous video. Now I have still got my eyes set on this mean threshold of this bearish order block, so the midpoint of that is still the lowest I expect price to trade to. And when we drop down to the daily, you can see we are still just edging towards that fair value gap, which I'm anticipating to get filled in the new day, as in on Thursday. But here's Wednesday's price action. You can see we traded down, tapped into it and traded off of it, and when we drop down to the hourly, you'll definitely be able to see how heavily consolidated we were. Another thing to take note of is this bullish order block, this daily candle right here. We should be watching the high off this because this should be very sensitive to price. So when price does manage to trade down into that, if it does, we can anticipate some kind of reaction and start looking for longs once we've traded down into this. But other than that, I am still anticipating this fair value gap to get filled and us to trade lower on the Thursday. So let's go down to the 4 hour, and you can see how consolidated we were today. We just traded just a lot of back and forth price action in general, as it works its way through here. And one thing to take note of is that we should anticipate this kind of price action at this level, and I say that because you see this last down close candle here before this up move. On the buy side of the curve, this is where accumulation was forming. So when there's accumulation forming on the buy side of the curve, and when I say curve, I mean this is the buy side from this low to this high. When we move to the downside, we anticipate that same level to provide a point of distribution. So seeing this amount of consolidation at this level is nothing necessarily surprising, but it was quite a difficult day in general for trading, so that's something to take note of. But it's just this candle here, and you can see, look how price respects the inside of it. You see how price traded to the top of it, and literally we just consolidated within it. So you can see there's clearly distribution happening at this level, and then we'll probably anticipate the same once we trade down into towards this high that I was talking about. Now on the hourly, you'll also see the breaker that I also drew out in yesterday's video. We've got a low, a high, a lower low, and then we broke higher. So this candle, this last up close candle right here, is a breaker block that I'm anticipating price to trade down into. So mainly I've just got my level based basically just set on here, 103.811. I want to see if price can trade down into that, and use this red level as the lowest I expect price to trade. It can trade lower, and if it does, so be it, but preferably I'd like to think that once it gets into this range, as in this white box, once it gets into there, I'd like to start seeing some reactions to the upside. So let's just type in breaker, and then let's drop down to the 15 minute and take a close look at price action. Here, this is what I mean. Look at, so you'll see here we were accumulating, because on the buy side it's accumulation, and then on the downside we experience distribution. You can see we have just gapped lower as Thursday started, but we have some relative equal lows from the low of Wednesday, which is likely going to get targeted, and these lows here, here, and here that price is going to want to draw down into. So definitely keep an eye on those levels in the new day, and like I said, we can probably anticipate some kind of Thursday reversal or something of that sort. If we look at the news releases, I'll just quickly get them up. News releases today, we do have some high impact news at 8 o'clock, I believe, and then tomorrow there's no news. So it's likely that we may just close lower this week, which is completely fine, and then next week we'll probably see the retracement higher, because I am expecting these relative equal highs to get targeted. But let's not think about that for now. Moving into Thursday, I just want to see a continued push to the downside. Let's go over to GBP. We'll start on the daily. And GBP, again, I was anticipating us to trade higher, running into these stops, and then on the 4 hour, I've been bringing our attention to this breaker, high, low, higher high. So it's the last down close candle. I've been stating how I want to see price trade into it. Now you'll see we traded to it, but we haven't traded into it yet, so I'm still anticipating that to happen on the Thursday. We have this nice little swing high on the 4 hour as well that price is going to want to draw into. So there's definitely buy side liquidity residing above that. Let's get that marked out. And then we have this fair value gap, which is totally fine if it gets filled. If we drop down to the hourly, again, heavy consolidation. And why is there consolidation there? Well, it's the same rule, but on the opposite. So on the downside, we had distribution happening at this green candle. So what do we anticipate on the upside? We anticipate accumulation, and as we drag this box up, you can see we're clearly this is a point of accumulation for price, so eventually we are going to expand outside of that range, and that's what I'm expecting for the rest of the week. So Still got my eyes set on these relative equal highs, and I'd like to think that we can fill in this imbalance with a potential reach up here. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that I was saying I don't really want to see price trade into here purely because it's a inversion fair value gap. Why is it an inversion fair value gap? Because we delivered on the upside, then the downside. So if price trades back into it, it should provide the resistance we need to propel price lower, because overall we are still bearish. So yeah, that's everything on GBP. Let's just drop down to the 15-minute. There you can see the absolutely disgusting consolidation we had. One thing to take note of though is look how we respect this range. So from this low to this high, you can see our price is kind of finding support on top of this level, and that's completely normal. And that's because, like I said, we anticipate accumulation where there was distribution. So there was distribution here, and you can see we're accumulating here with an expectation to push and run higher. There is a nice little 15-minute fair value gap just up here that I have my eye set on as well. So it'll be nice to see if price can reach into that in the new day. So I'm just going to keep these levels marked out on the charts, and then we'll see how we deliver tomorrow. In terms of setups, I don't anticipate price to trade much lower before moving higher. It shouldn't need to, basically. And all of this consolidation, it acts as almost as like a defense level, as in, like I said, it should be supporting within itself. So because of how choppy price action is, it is a bit hard to anticipate an actual setup, so to speak. But if we look at this swing high that we've just taken out, I would prefer to see price stay above it, and then as price touches it and continues to touch it, I'd expect it to provide the support it needs to run higher. So that's just something to keep in your charts and to see how price treats it in the new day, with the expectation to trade into this breaker, 4-hour breaker. I'll show you that one more time. Here, this is a 4-hour breaker. Let me write that in. So let's finish on euro as per usual. You can see we're running up to this swing high. Let's go to the daily. Same with euro really. I was expecting to run above this swing high. Let's go to the 4-hour. Again, we did move a little bit more freely on euro, but I am, like I said, it is going to need to put some work in to get higher. There's a nice 4-hour fair value gap that I have my eye set on, which is lined up perfectly with the breaker. Where's the breaker? High, low, higher high, last down close candle right here. If we drag that out, you'll see that lines up perfectly, absolutely perfectly with that breaker. So this, I do believe, is a target for euro on the Thursday moving into the Friday. As price trades into this, I will be anticipating some kind of retracement. But to be honest, once it's traded into that, that's me done for the week, as in I wouldn't really be expecting much more after it's reached this target. So that's something to consider. You'll also see that we have relative equal highs now above this high and this high here. So again, what's building up there, they're engineering in liquidity to be grabbed. We can drop down to the 1 hour, and like I said, euro is a little bit more clean in terms of price action. One thing to take note of is we do have another breaker. We've got a low, a high, a lower low, and then price is moving higher. Now I am ignoring the wicks when I'm saying this, because volume is more important, but the fact that we've taken out this low right here, and the fact that volume is clearly showing a willingness to go up, we can look at the last up close candle, which is this candle here, and we can drag that out. Now if price returns to this, which it may do, maybe in the London session, maybe in the London session, maybe in the Asia session, but as price returns back into this order block, we can buy that with the confidence that it's likely going to run for this buy side liquidity, and again into that swing high and this 4-hour fair value gap that I delineated. So let's get that marked out, 4-hour fair value gap. And like I said, you can clearly see that euro's having a lot more clean price action compared to pound, which is why I am preferring to look at it. Again, came down, grabbed those stops, and ever since we've been trading higher. So we're looking at the last up close candles for us to find and provide that support that we need to push and run into the buy stops. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. I hope you found this insightful. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers very soon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.